Hello, everybody. Welcome to Tiny Debate. Today we have Cuttem up Courtney and Himmy, and we're gonna do the coin toss now. Hold on. To see who is going to go be the affirmative or negative. So, Himmy, what do you call heads or tails?
Heads.
Well, you lost that.
It glitched. I thought it had landed on it.
I guess you will be doing the affirmative or the negative. You're gonna do the negative, and Courtney will be doing the
Oh,
affirmative.
so you don't even got it. So once I call it and I lose, I just get the opposite of what I want to do. I got you.
Yeah. So, Courtney, yeah, did you load it up? Because this is the opening statement round. So it's going to be 2 minutes from each debater, and the affirmative is going first. So I'm going to let
Alrighty.
them.
I think I'm ready.
You think you're ready? Okay. 1 second. Okay. And you have 2 minutes. I'll start when you start.
Alrighty, first and foremost, big shouts out to Himmy, the true barbarian, my boy. Shouts out to the platform. I really appreciate this opportunity to have this discussion. Today we're going to debate, should governments establish youth-led advisory boards for climate policy? I'm going to be making a case that this should be done, especially being that I have some experience of being a youth and involved with adult policy control. I'm going to advocate for it. So, number one, we have to take consideration that youth are the future. This is an opportunity for policy education. Number two, youth are the most affected by future policies. Last but not least, new ideas come from the youth, and I think that this is a great environment for collaboration of wisdom and spunk. Point number one, youth are the future, an opportunity of policy education. If youth are included as leaders in climate control policy, advisory boards, they gain an opportunity for decorum education, policy formulation, and better social problem solving skills. For example, as already stated, I'm a former NAACP Youth Council member and president. And as president, I was able to sit down, learn the rules, Robert's rules of decorum when it comes to hosting meetings, where you actually learn how to sit down and engage with people of other opinions, and you actually begin to politically demonstrate a little bit of preliminary procedures, which is the foundational premise for democracy. And I think that this is a very good aspect to instruct and instill in the youth so that it allows for more diplomatic communication amongst everybody, not just in the future, but even in their current situations. Point number two, youth as most affected by policy because the climate crisis.
Your 2 minutes is up for your intro.
Wait, for the intro or for the
Yes,
opening?
this is the intro.
Oh man, okay, that's cool.
He started going.
You don't went through his debate.
He
Appreciate you.
started going into
Appreciate you,
the
my guy.
debate. All right. Did you need this up for your intro? Are you open? Huh?
Yes.
My name is
Yes.
Courtney,
Okay.
and I am a barbarian. That's all I got.
2 minutes. 2 minute intro. Hello.
All right. Should governments establish youth led advisory boards for climate policy? My position today is no. Right. So I'm standing on the negative side today. I believe government should not set up separate youth led advisory boards for climate policy. Now, hear me out. I'm not saying young people shouldn't be heard. Absolutely, they should. But my concern is that creating a specific youth led board might do more harm than good unless it's built very carefully. It could be symbolic, duplicative, misdesigned, expensive, or even exclude parts of youth rather than include all of us. All right. The core issue, let's be honest. Climate policy is complex. It involves technical science, economics, politics, institutional structures, budgets, trade offs, international commitments. What I'm arguing is instead of building another board, government should improve the ones they already have. Make sure young voices are actually integrated into real decision making and avoid the risk of a new separate system. All right. The four major concerns is effectiveness and implementation gap. Advisory boards often don't lead to meaningful policy change. Equity issues and representation, risk of excluding marginalized youth voices, uh, duplication and fragmentation risk, creating overlapping competing structures, resource trade-off costs, opportunity cost of time, money, and political attention. Those are the four concerns I'm going to be touching on tonight, and that is my opening.
Okay, you're gonna concede the rest of your time.
How much more time I got?
20
I thought I
seconds.
was. Oh yeah, I can see the rest of that.
Okay. Okay, now we have the argument. The constructive argument is 4 minutes for each debater. Affirmative goes first. So, Courtney, that's you. Yeah, start your time. You can start.
All right. Well, as we already know, I jumped the gun just a tad, but it's a-okay. It's a-okay because I'm just going to get back here and then get to the last 2 points. So remember, I said that it's good to include us or youth in an youth-led advisory board on climate control policies because youth are the future. It is an opportunity for policy education. Just to speak out on my personal experience, as an NAACP Youth Council member, yes, I wasn't involved in policy regarding climate control, but I was involved in local policy and politics regarding education on the local level and even dealing with certain social political issues in my neighborhood. Being involved in this gave me an understanding of how to conduct actual meetings. It gave me an understanding of diplomacy. Uh, It also gave me an understanding of being able to include others as a youth, even though now we're in an environment where it can often be very stressful due to all this internet and AI stuff. There can be a way to integrate the youth, include the internet and AI stuff, make it not so stressful because the adults are ultimately still going to be making the decisions and allowing youthful ideas in the process. Point number two, they're the most affected by the policy of the future. Again, when we look at everything going on today, the long term situations are going to affect the youth. It's always good to have their involvement, not just leading them out on the side and allowing them to be incorporated in the construction of future policies. It's also going to allow us to have a better global economy because now the kids are already understanding what to do when it comes to future interactions with other policies if they remain in the field. Last but not least, you got new ideas being incorporated by means of the youth. With older people supervising, you get an opportunity where the youth are able to incorporate their new ideas. They can use the AI, they can use all of these things out here that the adults, quite frequently, especially in our current environment, have no idea about using. Just imagine being able to construct a whole new plan, making sure it's economically useful and actually practical by means of an assistance with somebody who's tech savvy. I think that would be very good, especially when it comes to policies concerning climate control. On that note, I concede the rest of my time.
Okay. 1 second. All right, Himmy. Ready for your argument? You can start
Uh,
at any time.
all right. Effectiveness and implementation gap. One of the biggest issues with advisory boards in practice is that they often don't lead to meaningful policy change. A study on planning advisory boards in Detroit found that while boards were set up to augment citizen participation, their actual influence depended heavily on political support, resources, and linkages to decision makers. Excuse me. Without these, they become advisory in name only. University at Buffalo is my source. So the research evidence. Research reviewers note that the citizen advisory boards in many domains have unclear roles, weak mandates, and ambiguous relationships with the governing body, which means their advice may get ignored. The classic Pierce 1985 study found board performances weakly tied to actual impact unless roles and structures are clear. That's according to e-scholarship. So if we create a youth-led advisory board without guaranteeing real authority or integration into policy decisions, we risk setting it up to fail. And then youth voices may become token gestures rather than meaningful parts of governance. Right? So equity and representation concerns. So youth isn't singular. It includes different ages, backgrounds, geographies, socioeconomic statuses. Boards skew privilege. Many boards favor youth who already have higher civic engagement, more resources, and better education. Risk of exclusion. Without strong recruitment and inclusion, boards may exclude rural, lower income, and minority youth. Okay. Research on youth advisory boards, YBs, and health context shows that many boards skew toward youth who already have higher civic engagement, more resources, better education. For instance, the 2022 scope and review by Haddad found that many youth advisory structures engaged youth in minimal ways and meaningful long-term youth-led partnership work. All right. The representation problem. This means if we create a youth-led board but don't build strong recruitment, inclusion, capacity building, we risk the board being dominated by the same connected youth, urban, educated, affluent, and excluding youth from rural areas, lower incomes, minorities, or those already underrepresented. That wouldn't advance equity. It might reinforce existing gaps. Argument three, duplication, fragmentation, and institutional risk. Climate governance involves many bodies, expert panels, stakeholder committees, citizens' assemblies, NGO networks. Adding a new youth led advisory board could create overlapping, competing structures. The research, excuse me, the research on citizen advisory boards finds that success depends on clarity of role, integration, and decision making, and avoiding duplication. If we layer on a separate youth board without clear lines of authority, the risk is multiple advisory channels, diluted advice, confusion over who is listened to, who reports to whom, and possibly slower decisions, which is the opposite of what we want facing climate urgency. Resources, trade offs, and focus. Every government decision involves trade offs, time, money, political attention. If we create a youth led board, we need to give it funding, staff, training, support, administrative oversight. Meanwhile, those resources might be
30 seconds.
comment, I got you. Action channels, adaptation funding, community resilience, education for youth on climate, etc. The opportunity cost matters. Also, if the board's remit is too broad, it might spread thin. If too narrow, it might have little impact. Without clear measures of success, advisory boards risk being nice to have but not effective. Research finds that measuring successful advisory boards is difficult and outcomes are often ambiguous. So creating a new board isn't a guarantee of better outcomes. We must ask, is this
Time.
use of our resources? All right.
Okay. I don't know if you guys, I don't think you should need anything right now, but this is the cross examine round, and it's 3 minutes for each debater. And of course, the negative goes first, and that's you, Himmy. So whenever you're ready. Oh, wait. Oh, I got to remove it. Okay, there you go.
So just to clarify, he's asking me questions first, or I'm asking him for questions
He,
first.
he, he's asking you questions first because he's
All
a,
right.
negative, and then you get the second 3 minutes.
All right. Let, so when I start talking, you start, honey?
Yeah.
All right. So, um, Court, you said you were involved in climate or community work as a youth, right?
Community work, yes. NAACP Youth Council president for 3 years.
Okay, so you said yes. So that involvement did it require a government run youth led advisory board for you to participate?
Actually, yes. I participated on the city council, sat at city council meetings, and was very diplomatic at my high school and local high schools through other members, fielding issues from those institutions as well, trying our best to progress certain things regarding the advancement of colored people.
Okay, so your own example proves that youth voices can be heard and active without building a new government board, right?
Well, it was part of an existing government board when I sat on that council.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So your own that you're arguing for a new advisory board when you're saying that you were able to do everything that you claimed that you needed to do with a new advisory board with the one that already exists. That's why I'm saying you kind of like proving my point.
Well, we did it all in conjunction with the adults. Like this is whether it because we ultimately went to the advisory board. It was the NAACP branch of Fayette County, Georgia, and one of the representatives that was there. You had the president for the adult chapter and the president for the youth council. I was the president for the youth council or the adult chapter when I went. It was essentially more or less like a apprenticeship type of functionality. Whatever they did, I had to reflect in my meetings the decorum, things of this nature, diplomacy, being able to learn how to communicate to people in order to field their opinions and then bring those opinions to the larger actual decision makers. I was in the midst of all of that.
Right.
1 minute.
Yeah, I'm glad you giving us this testimony. That actually helps my argument. Were there any other youth like you, or were you the only one?
We had governmental structures inside of the NAACP branch and council.
No.
So there was a
Well, I
leader.
asked, were there any other youth
Oh yeah,
other than you?
yes.
What would you say was a large amount, a small amount? Like,
Well, I had one of the larger NAACP youth councils in the state, and we were directly affiliated with the top 5 members, 3 out of the top 5 members of the NAACP National Committee. So my situation was quite unique and at the same time quite powerful.
well, it doesn't sound that unique, because you said you were part of one
It's
of the
time.
largest.
It's time.
All right, all right.
Okay, now it's your turn, Courtney. It's your question and answer round. You get 3 minutes, and it start when you start.
Yeah, so from your opening statements, I didn't really hear you put forward, maybe I misunderstood, a a a super strong ironclad reason why you shouldn't be involved. It seemed as if you were suggesting an oversight situation would always be good, correct?
No, I actually said it should be a situation like yours where they didn't need to create a completely new board. They just needed to involve youth under the current structure and give you guys this voices. So like you and the many youth that you claimed you had because you was part of one of the larger ones, right? That was kind of my point is that we don't need to create a new one because there's already one that exists and you are an example of that and so are your other counterparts that came up in that type of program.
Okay. The debate topic again was should governments establish youth advisory boards, correct?
You say what?
We're essentially asking if the government should establish youth advisory boards.
Yes.
So
Should should one be created?
oh, I mean, you don't think a youth advisory board can be implemented into what's already going on?
Yeah, but implementing it into what's already going on isn't creating a new advisory board. It's just implementing the youth.
It
It's
would
not
be an
creating a new
establishment.
board.
It would be an establishment of a youth-led advisory board, though. right?
But it wouldn't be youth led because just like you said, you had the answer to your uh, adult leadership. You
Yeah,
guys followed the same structure that your adult leadership had. So that's kind of my argument. The youth can directly be involved in this climate situation, just like you were, without having to have a completely new advisory board. So you and the youth
are
that you
you?
grew up with,
I got
that
another
you
question. So
go ahead.
you sort of think that the nature of tonight's debate topic is more or less about a brand new advisory board, not necessarily if it could work in a governed situation again, correct?
Well, I'm the negative and you're affirmative, so you would be on the side of a new one. I'm saying no.
Okay. I mean, I'm not antithetical to a new one. I'm just saying that it's not that problematic for doing such. It gives a lot of opportunities for the youth. Um, as it relates to voices not being heard, you're not familiar with community outreach situations or actually being that being one of the reasons
Oh,
why we're
30
involving
seconds.
the youth.
Didn't hear you. Repeat it.
You don't think involving the youth is an aspect of being open dialogue and receiving new opinions from new voices is
Oh,
good?
I absolutely think involvement is necessary. The question of the debate is not involvement. It's about establishing a youth-led advisor. That's a brand new board that's led by the youth. It's not. I'm not saying that the youth can't be involved. I'm saying we don't need a new advisory board in order for the youth to be involved because youth like you were involved without that advisory board.
But I was
It's
on an
time.
advisory board.
That's time now. We're going to go into the rebuttal round. Okay. So everybody knows. Oh, wait. I'm sorry, y'all. The rebuttals. 3 minutes from each debater, and Courtney is going first.
All righty, thank you very much. I really appreciate this conversation. I'm sorry for jumping the gun in my first opening, but hey, I appreciated it. So again,
This is
guys,
the rebuttal.
oh, this is a rebuttal. Wait, okay, stop
I
my.
knew it. I knew
I
it.
thought you said this was a
It sounded
close.
like he was closing. It's the
Yeah.
rebuttal round. It's 3 minutes for a rebuttal after the question and answer.
Okay, so we had two rebuttals. They were just broke up between the cross examination. I got you. I didn't know
Yeah.
that. All right, awesome. You can start my time now. So, yes, Himmy. I think we're not that far off. I don't hear very strong criticism regarding youth-led advisory boards being established by the government for climate policy or any other policy. I think you're suggesting that there's quite a few reasons why it would be influential, good, and productive, not just for the youth, but also for the broader community. I'm in agreement with that. I think we're ultimately in some impasse here because your understanding seems to be new, i.e., bringing up new funding, bringing up new systems for this particular little subset of the bigger picture. I don't think all of that has to be necessary. For examples, most times when kids are elected to get up on these panels, or in these advisory boards, there's usually a system where that's already an option due to whatever social political situations are in the local government or abroad. Like abroad, nationally speaking, they would probably go after the kids with very high IQs, essentially literally Andres, right? Seeking after those type of kids who are able to conduct themselves and think in a way, according to tests, that would be productive on the larger scale. So I don't think that we're necessarily that far away. I think that we're both sort of on my side. We all are for the kids, right? We all for the kids. But I just didn't take the nature of tonight's debate to be about new governmental advisory boards. I thought it was just about having youth led advisory boards established by the government. There could be some expenditures that occur, but they would be far less concerning another advisory board with specialists. And I'm not saying we don't have good specialists. We can use the current people to assist them in all of the interactive things like diplomacy that are very important and learned in those type of environments. And then, by the way, diplomacy does give us an opportunity for the little man to speak by means of ruling and understanding how things are conducted with the majority vote. I rest my rebuttal
Oh,
case.
okay. Let's see this time. Okay, Himmy, minutes when you start. Rebuttal round.
Okay. All right. So I don't think my opponent understands what established means. So I'm gonna define establish. Establish means to set up an organization, system, or a set of rules on a firm or permanent basis. Right. So when you're saying that should the government establish a youth led advisory board, that would be something new, right? It's not asking should it integrate what's already existing. It's asking should it establish something that doesn't exist. All right. Um, Point number two, when my opponent said he himself was involved in the youth and climate initiatives without the youth led board, he actually made my point for me. You know what I'm saying? Because that example shows the youth don't need a new bureaucratic structure to participate. They need access, support, and inclusion within existing systems, which he keeps arguing for me. Like I said, I think it's because he don't understand what established means, right? So research backed this up. Like I said, I talked about the Haddad, um, ETAL, the 22 American Journal of Community and Psychology, how they found that youth participation succeeds when programs give resources and mentorship, not when governments just add new layers of administration. I talked about that in my round. Um, Similarly, I talked about Applegate 2000, the Indiana Law Journal. Uh, they said that adding redundant advisory boards often slows responsiveness and confuses accountability. That was in my one of my points. So again, like his personal story is real world proof of what the data actually shows. Youth engagement thrives through direct inclusion, not extra bureaucracy. You know what I'm saying? So um yeah, Court, I'm not sure why you dropped the ball like that, why you chose to, argue inclusion when you're supposed to be arguing for establishing youth-led advisory boards, not you guys being part of advisory boards that are run by adults, other
30
government officials,
seconds.
and things like that. So um, I think it's pretty much clear here tonight what's going on. So I'll yield the rest of my time.
Okay. Next is closing statements. 3 minutes for each debater, and Himmy is going first. Do you need your slides or?
No, I don't need my slides.
Okay. Go ahead.
So in my I'm just gonna because he threw me kind of a bone like in it, so that's why I haven't needed my slides since the question and answer round. But the affirmative's own experience proves my argument. He was an active, effective youth voice without a youth-led advisory board. That means engagement already happens through schools, nonprofits, local programs, and existing government youth offices. We don't need to create a new board. We need to strengthen the channels that already work. His story doesn't justify the policy, it exposes its redundancy. You know what I'm saying? So for everyone out there tonight that's watching this, I hope you're understood. Like I said, I've already defined what establishing something means, and why establishing a youth advisory board wouldn't be necessary because my barbarian brother here, Court, and his teenage friends are proof of that. You know, so thank you, Court, for showing up. and assisting me in winning this debate.
You
Yeah, I yield.
okay, Courtney? Your 3 minutes starts whenever you're ready.
Beautiful. Again, thank you very much, Himmy. I'm sorry that you think you won this debate. Again, the topic was, should governments establish youth-led advisory boards, in particular for climate control? Now, being that I have a personal testimony and I know that well, maybe not climate advisory boards, but advisory boards were established, and I worked within them because they were already part of the system. You have actually negated the essence of the question by arguing the aspects that are great within what already works. The promotion of youth in light of the optics does not negate what has already worked. If we know that we have instances where this can work, and I can give you a few things that I've done in Fayette County, Georgia, this is not regarding climate policy, but it was in regards to education, teachers, and as you spoke up earlier, including minorities at the table and also into our classrooms. There was a event that was hosted in Fayette County, Georgia, which is one of these major events where I got to sit up there as an advisory board member, primarily due to my affiliation with the NAACP, because it's a brother-sister situation. You can be part of other groups, intellectual groups, and actually get similar seats at even higher offices just because of those intellectual connections. But in me doing this, I was able to increase the amount of African-American teachers while we were dealing with the influx of African-American kids, primarily due to Hurricane Katrina in the area. We used to only have 3 Black teachers in my whole high school and 10 Black teachers in all of the high schools. We have 5 high schools in the area. Only 10 throughout all the high schools. Out of all the 10, only three of them were in the classes. The rest of them were gym teachers. We were able to change that situation to where we got principals that are Black. We were able to include a lot louder and much more diverse platform for education. We weren't just learning Martin Luther King during February, Malcolm X.
Seconds.
And it was a very major aspect of power that was given by means of diplomacy, learned at the level that tonight's debate was at. I appreciate you, Himmy, for giving me the platform for my personal testimony to shoot down the argument you thought you had. Thank you.
Okay, and that it concludes the tiny debate today. So a round of applause for you guys. So, how you guys think you did?
Oh, I think I did.
Yeah.
You argued my point for me through every round.
I think I did. So you guys comment, please, when you watch it, who you think won. And we're going to end right now. Good night. Himmy, go ahead. We're going to take us out.
We the champions, trouble no missing. Speak facts, let the world stop and listen. Barbarians swing, every boy hit the mark. Cut through the noise like flames in the dark. We the champions, ain't no retreat. Still sharp and steel, every word, every beat. On the mic or the stage, we control the game. Barbarian debate, yeah, they remember the name. Paint the battlefield vivid, every lyric's a stroke. Turn your whole team to ghosts when the truth is provoked. Bar for bar, I'm a titan, got the heavies and all. Lines heavy as Atlas, hold the world in my claws. I see life through the prism, talking dark in the light. From the dirt to the throne, every wrong made right. Barbarian minds, they got the truth in my veins. They talk heat, but they fire don't match my flame. Flip the map, global presence, I'm a legend in time. They clock out, I clock in, redefining the grind. Cutting lies like confetti, watch the fall of the sea. Barbarians hold the key, now they ain't safe in these streets. We the champions, troubles no missing. Speak facts, let the world stop and listen. Barbarian swing, every point hit the mark. Cut through the noise like flames in the dark. We the champions, ain't no retreat. Feel sharp and steel, every word, every beat. On the mic or the stage, we control the game. Barbarian debate, yeah, they remember the name.
Correcting pseudos is fun, it's like righting the wrong. Honey, death toll is large from me collecting the pawns. We keep their heads on the wall and bring them back just for fun. Barbarians is lurking, but really what can be done? Meta AI is no match, you better read more than that. We redefining the game, and you lame just to blame. If you wanna play, set it up. We set the bar, you ain't tough. Step in the ring or you must. Don't waste our time with the fuss. I tip my hat cause you brave, and you the next one we claim. We toast to drink to your name, and then we spark up the flame. I don't care if it's one or two. No, they back by the whole crew. Don't bother running. Once we come in, we gonna collect you.
We the champions, troubles no missing. Speak facts, let the world stop and listen. Barbarian swing, every point hit the mark. Cut through the noise like flames in the dark. We the champions, ain't no retreat. Feel sharp and steel, every word, every beat. On the mic or the stage, we control the game. Barbarian debate, yeah, they remember the name.